Doctrine and Covenants 77 through 80. Sometimes the most life-changing answers come from small, sincere questions. In these 4 short sections of the Doctrine and Covenants, the Lord responded to questions about the Scriptures, about missionary work, about church organization, and personal callings. Each revelation might seem small, but the ripple effects were huge for the early saints and us. For the past 6 months, Joseph and Emma had been living at the John Johnson farm in Hiram, Ohio, about 30 miles south of Kirtland. The Johnsons had given them rooms to live in and an upstairs office where Joseph and Sidney Rigdon worked on the translation of the New Testament. By March of 1832, Joseph and Sidney had reached the Book of Revelation, which is famously confusing to many Bible readers. Even though Joseph reportedly once said that Revelation was one of the plainest books God ever caused to be written, he still had some questions too. He took 15 of those questions to the Lord, and the answers he received became Doctrine and Covenants 77. This section reminds us that even prophets ask questions, and that asking is often how the Lord teaches us. That same month, Joseph met with church leaders in Kirtland to discuss how things were going with bishop storehouses and the publication of the Revelations. The Lord had revealed his law to the church over a year previously, and that law included the law of consecration. But while a literary firm had been organized to promote the church's publishing efforts, there were still no storehouses in Kirtland or Missouri, which would be crucial to helping the saints live the law of consecration. Consequently, in the middle of this planning meeting, Joseph received the revelation in Doctrine and Covenants 78, which directed Joseph, Sidney Rigdon, and Bishop Newell K. Whitney to formally organize the United Firm. Basically, the 3 men would be business partners whose efforts would generate revenue for the church. They were also commanded to travel from Ohio to Missouri to strengthen the church, create a branch of the United Firm, and help establish a bishop's storehouse there. Once again, Joseph's willingness to ask and act opened the way for revelation, and it also provided a desperately needed and practical plan for providing for the church's needs. While Joseph was preparing for the trip the Lord had commanded him to take to Missouri, Jared Carter stopped by with a question. He had just returned from a 5-month mission in the East and wanted to know where to preach next. In response to that simple question, Joseph received Doctrine and Covenants 79, which told Jared to go again into the Eastern countries. Jared left the next month and served for another 6 months, helping convert many people to the gospel, including, eventually, John and Elizabeth Tanner. The Tanners later moved to Ohio and donated thousands of dollars to help pay off the Kirtland Temple site and finance its construction. Sometimes we think we need to do something huge to make a difference. But here, a faithful missionary just asked, "Where should I go next?" And the Lord used that question to open doors for blessings that no one could have even imagined. In another moment of obedience, Joseph received a revelation calling 2 more missionaries, Stephen Burnett and Eden Smith. Section 80 is their missionary call, but unlike Jared Carter's call, they were basically told to preach the gospel wherever they wanted. They couldn't go amiss. Unfortunately, Eden became sick and couldn't go, but Stephen still served with Eden's father, John. Elder David A. Bednar once said of this section, "Perhaps one of the lessons the Savior is teaching us in this revelation is that an assignment to labor in a specific place is essential and important, but secondary to a call to the work." The Lord doesn't just need people in the right place, He needs people who are willing, and that's what this section is really about. So whether it's a prophet asking about the book of Revelation or a missionary asking where to serve, these sections remind us that small questions can lead to big answers and that God is not bothered by our questions. And that's what's happening in Come Follow Me this week. Like and subscribe so that YouTube will share these videos with more people. And check out the Start Here app for daily Come Follow Me study prompts.